Okay, this is now, speaking of politics and weird shit and corporate everything, this is Netflix. Now, Netflix, interestingly, said this. This is tweeted by an individual named Nick Marta. Now, the speaking out of both sides of your mouth type stuff here. So, remember when all this was going down in the Black Lives Matter thing, and people were marching the streets and shit was burning down? That was like half the year, right? So yeah, fine, cool, whatever you believe, fine. All right, but look, Netflix said this in May 30th, 2020. To be silent is to be complicit. Black Lives Matter. We have a platform, and we have a duty to our black members, employees, creators, and talent to speak up. All right, cool, right? That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Like, you're a business, you put out an official statement here on your Netflix or your Twitter account, the official blue checkmark account. But then we have this, December 24th, 2020. The Netflix CEO says this: "We're not trying to do truth to power. We're trying to entertain." And they said that regarding this. So an Oscar winner made a Jamal Khashoggi documentary. Remember that guy? Jamal Khashoggi. He was the journalist that worked for, I believe it was the Washington Post, and he was chopped into pieces. He was apprehended, not really apprehended, let's say kidnapped is probably the more important term, kidnapped at an embassy and cut into pieces. All right, by the Saudis. All right, the Saudi prince is supposedly behind it, and so somebody made a documentary regarding this, and streaming services didn't want it. So now, let's go back. May 30th, 2020. To be silent is to be complicit. All right, let's just drop the rest of this. That statement says it all. To be silent is to be complicit. Now let's go to December 24th. Netflix CEO says, "We're not trying to do truth to power. We're trying to entertain." So which is it, right? Again, talking out of both sides of your mouth, and this is exactly the type of political garbage that happens, right? Like, you can do one thing, but you can't do the other. Because why? You know why. Because there's a narrative to follow here. There's an actual a handful of marbles that they have to try and jam down all of our throats, and this is part of the brainwash. This is part of all of it. So who out there thinks that murdering journalists, kidnapping them at an embassy and chopping them to pieces is an important thing that we should probably continue to hear about and continue to highlight? Just a show of hands. Anybody out there think that's important? Anybody else think that these are themes that need to be pushed to the top, not just with human rights, but with the First Amendment and the freedom of the press, the actual freedom of the press, not this other garbage they try and tell us is freedom of the press because some loudmouth gets kicked out of a briefing. Has nothing to do with freedom of the press. That has to do with a loudmouth that got kicked out of a briefing. You see, there's a huge difference here. Now, kidnapping somebody and chopping them into pieces, all right, because they're a journalist and they're actually reporting things that people don't want to hear, that truth to power doesn't want to hear, it's important. It's critical even. And so here we go. So the Netflix CEO, we're not trying to do truth to power. We're just trying to entertain you. Except, well, let's go back to May 30th. To be silent is to be complicit. So which is it? You trying to entertain us, or are you trying to brainwash us, or both? Yeah, he's lying.